Today's lesson is The Portrait of a Lady. The Portrait of a Lady is the story of the author named Khushwant Singh. He describes his relationship with his grandmother over the years. He pens down her daily activities and how she evolved as a character as time passed by. He explains her appearance, which helps create an image in the minds of the reader. So we shall see the explanation. The author talks about his grandmother. He had known her for the past 20 years and she had always been old and wrinkled. He was told that she was once young and very pretty and had a husband. His grandfather portrait hung on the wall in which he wore loose-fitted clothes, a turban and had a long white colored beard that reached till his chest. He also appeared very old and the author thought that he was someone who could have many grandchildren but not a wife or children. The author could never imagine that once his grandmother was young and pretty. He could not connect to this idea. She used to tell him and his cousins about her childhood memories, like the games she used to play as a child. She found these stories illogical and they found these stories as illogical and disrespectful because it was beyond their imagination to think that grandmother was once a child and played such games. They thought that her life's story were like the other moral stories which she used to tell them. His grandmother was short, fat, slightly bent in posture and her face had lots of wrinkles. She seemed so old and she had been the same for the past 20 years. According to the author, she was beautiful but not pretty. She walked around the house in an awkward way, wearing spotless white clothes with beads of rosary hanging from one hand and the other hand rested on her back for the support. She had silver-colored hair which was not neatly combed and was disorganized. She was constantly chanting prayers. He compares her to the winter's landscape in the mountains which had a peaceful and calm feel. She was a live example of a pure white peace-emitting entity. The author lived with her in the village. They were good friends. His parents left him with her to settle in the city. The author's grandmother used to wake him up every morning and get him ready for the school. She would recite her morning prayers while she bathed and dressed him up, and he loved her voice but would not try to memorize a word of what she spoke. She would make his things ready like the wooden slate, a tiny earthen ink pot and a red pen. He would eat a thick stale chapati and butter and sugar spread on it. They both used to walk to school and his grandmother carried stale chapatis with her to feed the dogs of the village. His grandmother would accompany him to the school as the temple was attached to the school and she used to visit the temple daily. On one side, he would sit on the veranda with other children would sing the alphabet and prayers in the chorus. On the other hand, she would sit in the temple to read the scriptures. After finishing, they would walk back home together. The village dogs met them at the village door. They would follow them to their home, growing and fighting with each other for the stale chapati that she fed them. When his parents got settled in the city, they called them. That was the turning point of his friendship with his grandmother. They shared the same room, but she no longer would give him company to his school. He started going to an English medium school, and a motor bus would come to pick and drop him. There were no dogs in the streets whom she could feed as she did in the village. So she started feeding sparrows in the veranda of their house. As the year passed in the city, their interaction has been reduced. For some time, she continued to wake him up and would get him ready for the school. She would ask him what he had learned in school that day. The scientific terminology and English words made her unhappy. As she didn't know the language, she could not help him with the lessons, as his new school never taught him about God and religious scripture. This made her very sad. She did not approve of such an education. When she came to know that he was getting music lessons, it disturbed her a lot. According to her, music was indecent and it was an art for the beggars and the prostitutes and not for those belonging to the decent families. She didn't like that he learned music, so she stopped talking to him. As the author went to university, he had a room of his own. The common link of his friendship was his grandmother that they had when they shared the same room. Now, it's changed now, and thus his friendship with her ended. She became more private and spent her whole day spinning the wheel. From sunrise to sunset, she would sit and silently recite her prayers. In the afternoon, she used to feed sparrows in the veranda. Breaking the bread into small pieces, she would feed hundreds of birds. The birds would gather around her. Some sat near her, some on her legs, some on her shoulders, and some on her head. She never shooed them, but always smiled. She was the happiest in that half an hour during the whole day. When the author decided to go abroad for further studies, he believed it would be the last time he would see her, as he would be gone for 5 long years. As they all reached the station, she held him tightly and kissed his forehead. He thought it was the last physical contact with her. The wet impression of her hand was dear to him. She was not sentimental at all. When he came back after 5 years, she came to meet him at the station. She looked just the way she did 5 years ago, not a day older. She held him again in her arms and was still reciting her prayers. He noticed on the first day of his arrival that only spouse would make her happy. An evening, she did follow her regular routine of praying. She collected a few women from the neighborhood, got a drum and started singing with them. They thumped the ruined part of the drum and sang along. The whole family persuaded her to stop as she might get ill due to exhaustion. The next morning, she fell ill. It was a mild fever. The doctors told him that it would go away, but she took it very differently. According to her, she would die soon as her end was near. She started chanting prayers and as she didn't want to waste her last hours in talking to anyone. The family protested, tried to stop her, but she lay peacefully on her bed, chanting prayers and doing her beads. Suddenly, she stopped and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. A calm, pale appearance spread on her face and she was dead. The family lifted her from the bed, laid her on the ground and wrapped her with the red colored cloth. Thousands of sparrows sat silently near her. The author's mother fetched some bread for the birds, but they didn't eat any. They flew away later as the family carried the dead body. The sweeper moved the crumbs the next morning. The birds were so sensitive. They did not want to eat bread but were mourning the death of the one who had fed them so far so many